everyone, what's up? My name is Joss and welcome back to my channel squibblesreads. So I posted a poll on Twitter the other day asking if you guys wanted to see two separate videos if I had books that just covered completely different scopes and had completely different target audiences, or if I should just combine the books into one video, and you guys voted for two different videos for two completely different books. So today I am going to be putting up two separate videos. One of them contains reviews of two of really highly anticipated fall YA 2016 releases, and in this video I will be reviewing Behold the Dreamers by Imbolo Mbue. In the other video I did review Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco and Three Dark Crowns by Kendara Blake, so if you are interested in those books I will leave that link down below. Behold the Dreamers is set in 2008 in New York City, and at this time and place there is a lot of political change and financial change in that Obama was just coming into power, and also the fall of the Lehman Company took place around this time. This book focuses on a Cameroonian family. The husband's name is Jende Jonga, his wife's name is Nene, and his son's name is Leomi. We learn about their journey in Cameroon up until where they are in New York now. There are also flashbacks which illustrate their journeys with immigration attorneys and just through immigration and back at home in Cameroon. This video is going to discuss a lot of the different themes in Behold the Dreamers, one of the main themes being the powerlessness that surrounds the immigration process and paperwork. The characters often felt that they were just working so hard, they were working minimum wage jobs and living below the poverty line, only to be sometimes treated really terribly because of their status by different people, so people in immigration, people in their academic settings. It also discussed some common microaggressions that are used towards people from African countries, not just Cameroon. So for example, I once saw your country in National Geographic, or for example, my sister just went to Kenya last year, which is a very different country from Cameroon, and in the book they provided the analogy that it is like saying to someone from New York City, my sister went to Seattle last year. Seattle and New York, completely different cities. Then there was the theme about some people not really feeling safe around law enforcement, which is so prevalent in society today, and just the issue with safety and really just feeling like they're under a magnifying glass instead of feeling protected. For example, there is a scene in which there is a young Caucasian child who is the son of the family that Jende works for, who is sitting in the car with Jende, who is an African man. The book illustrated a lot of the judgment that can come from a scenario like that in society from other people. On the flip side, there was another scene in which Nene was observing a protest, and she saw all these people being so vocal and free with their speech, and she just thought about how people in Cameroon would be criminalized and penalized extremely harshly for protesting against the government. She admired that people were doing it and felt safe being free with their speech. However, in actual fact, they might actually be protesting because they don't feel safe at all. On the topic of safety, it also talked about how people tend to gravitate towards building a community for themselves in which they feel safe, which often consists of people that have commonalities with them, which may include like hobbies or their mother tongue in which they feel more comfortable speaking in. There were a few points that really struck a chord with me. The first one is this one scene in which Nene is singing and dancing in public and in the grocery store, and how she thinks that it's so weird that in the USA, if we saw someone really exuberantly singing and dancing and even like talking to themselves and enjoying themselves outwardly in the middle of a grocery store in the middle of the day, some people might judge them pretty harshly, and most of those judgments would be negative as opposed to positive and celebratory. It also touched upon the treatment of international students in some post-secondary institutions, and just the way that they are treated by advisors, by financial aid, by the institutional rules that are set in place. So for example, the exorbitantly high fees that international students have to pay as opposed to domestic students, and thus sometimes advisors assume that their goals are way more lofty or less achievable than students who originally come from here because of things like the language barrier and things like they can't get financial aid to pay these exorbitant fees. So there are just like so many barriers standing between an international student and getting a higher education that some people may not realize. Overall, I gave Behold the Dreamers 4.5 stars. I can't say that I agree with or that I really loved every single part of the plot line, but it really made me think, and it really made me look at the lens from which I see the world, and that is something that I always value in a book. A quote that I found that was super powerful for me that I just want to leave with you guys for you to sit with for a little bit. People don't want to open their eyes and see the truth because the illusion suits them. If you guys have any comments, questions, or anything else, please leave them down below. As always, thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.